Hello, I'm Madeline at JetsDev, and I'd like to show you how to install Terraform on a Linux system compatible with Windows Subsystem Linux, and probably almost the same for a macOS. So to get started, on the Terraform's website at install, we can find the binaries necessary to install. For macOS, depending if you have an M1 or an M2, you should pick up the ARM64. If you have an Intel-based Mac, you should pick up AMD64. Download the zip and follow up, identical like for the Linux version that I'm going to use. On Linux, depending on what processor CPU you have, also like make sure that you pick up the correct version, AMD64 if you have a recent Intel or AMD, or ARM64 if you have a Raspberry Pi with a 64-bit Linux installation, or the ARM if you have maybe the still recommended Raspberry Pi OS. I'm going to download the AMD64 because I'm on an Intel. Okay. And what should we do with it? Well, one place on Linux and on macOS recommended to install, because this is where a lot of user binaries will be installed, there is a folder named .local and bin /bin. So .local/bin. Within it, a lot of applications that you can install, like modules with binaries from Python, probably binaries from Ruby, Ruby gems, and some others. They usually place in .local/bin. And the same way for global Node.js packages. This path should exist in your user's path environment. So if you do an echo path, it should be here. If you don't see it included into that, probably on a fresh macOS installation, you should edit your .profile. And I know that some people might have created a .bash _ profile, and I'll tell you exactly what to do with it also. You can use any console text editor and edit it. And you will need, as you're going to find in the description, a suggestion to add this somewhere within the file, probably at the end. My .profile is very short. I usually don't mess with it too much. And you should have this one, preferably added like this. In case that it didn't existed, you should create it like this, mkdir -p .local bin. And after you add this to your profile, you should probably log out, log in again, or maybe just try to reopen the terminal and see if it's working. Now, if based on other articles on the internet, you have created a .bash _ profile, make sure that you are going to include the profile into it. Because if you're running bash, then if bash founds .bash _ profile, it will not load the .profile. The .profile is a common profile configuration file for shells, which if it's the only one here, it's going to be loaded by bash sh-n-zsh. But if you create one like .bash _ profile or .zsh _ profile, then this kind of shells will prefer that one and they will not load that profile. Now, my suggestion is that anything which is common and can be used by any shell, you should put it into that profile. And if you want specific things for bash or for ZSH, then you should create that file, but first include the dot profile. And that can be with something like this. You should, 1 second. All you should do all you should do is do a dot profile, and this will ensure that bash will include first the profile, and after this you can add anything which can be programmed strictly in bash. So you can separate what can be common between shells and what it is in bash. Now let's go into that local bin and unzip Terraform. That was it. Now Terraform is in my folder here. And anywhere I would be, like I would be into a project, I can now run Terraform. So this is it. You can have Terraform on your local PC, Mac, etc. using Linux, or on Mac. In Windows subsystem Linux, and you're going to have Terraform. It's going to work out without any issues. Thank you.